Every few years, there's a new parenting style that makes the rounds. Gentle, tiger, F around and find out, free range. Honestly, parenting styles feel a lot like diet fads, keto, paleo, Whole30. Remember when SnackWells were considered health food? Same thing in parenting. But underneath all the noise, decades of research point to one style that consistently works best: authoritative parenting. Hi, I'm Dr. Mona, pediatrician and mom, and today I'm going to break down what authoritative parenting is, why it's the gold standard, and how it actually plays out in real life. And if you're new here, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on future child health, development, and parenting guidance that's evidence-based, experience-based, and relatable. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. There are actually 4 classic parenting styles, often shown in a quadrant. Warmth on one side, expectations on the other. Authoritarian parenting is strict and cold with very little warmth. Permissive parenting is warm but lacks structure or expectations. Uninvolved parenting is disengaged, low warmth, low expectations. And then there's authoritative parenting, the sweet spot where warmth and structure come together. A common myth is that authoritative parenting is just another word for strictness, but that's not true. Another myth is that gentle parenting is the opposite of authoritative parenting, when in reality, done well, gentle parenting falls under the authoritative umbrella. The key is balance, not extremes. Online, you're going to hear buzzwords like gentle, conscious, attachment, free range, helicopter, snowplow, tiger, or F around and find out parenting. It's easy to get lost in these labels. Parents hear gentle and assume it means never setting limits. They hear attachment and think it means being glued to their child 24/7. They hear F around and find out parenting and assume it means not setting clear expectations and just having children experience the consequences of their action all the time. But here's the truth. When done well, most of these styles are really just flavors of authoritative parenting. Gentle parenting is authoritative when it's about calm correction and boundaries, but it turns permissive when boundaries disappear. Attachment parenting is authoritative when it's about secure connection, but it slips into unhealthy enmeshment if independence isn't encouraged. Even F around and find out, which sounds harsh, but at its core is about letting kids learn from natural consequences. Done poorly, it looks like authoritarian punishment. The problem is never the label itself, it's when the approach drifts into extremes. It's like ordering low-fat cookies and realizing they still have 30 grams of sugar. The label might sound good, but what matters is what's inside. And if you're loving this kind of breakdown, hit that subscribe button for more videos and to support my channel. Authoritative parenting is high warmth and high expectations. It's showing love while holding boundaries at the same time. It's connection and respect. It's being consistent with limits. It's expressing warmth even during correction. It's encouraging independence, letting kids try, make mistakes, and learn. It's discipline that's fair, consistent, and age-appropriate. It's flexible when life calls for flexibility. It's guiding kids through natural consequences without shame or humiliation. Before I give examples, a quick note. There's a 4th style called uninvolved parenting, where a parent is emotionally or physically disengaged. That's not really parenting at all, which is why I'm not including examples of it here. Now let's discuss authoritarian, authoritative, and permissive parenting by letting it play out with a few everyday moments. A toddler throws food. An authoritarian parent says, "Stop that right now. No dessert tonight." A permissive parent says, "Oh well, he's just exploring. I'll clean it up." An authoritative parent calmly says, "Food stays on the plate. If you throw it again, we're done eating," and follows through without anger. A school-aged child forgets their homework. An authoritarian parent says, "You're grounded. You're so irresponsible." A permissive parent says, "It's fine. I'll email your teacher for you." An authoritative parent says, "I get that you forgot. It happens. What could help you remember next time?" and allows the natural consequence at school. A teen misses curfew. An authoritarian parent says, "You're grounded for a month. Don't even ask to go out again." A permissive parent says, "Whatever, just text next time." An authoritative parent says, "I was worried when you were late. Curfews are there for a reason. Let's talk about what happened and how we rebuild trust." And if you've ever tried negotiating curfew with a teen, you know it's like haggling with your Wi-Fi provider, frustrating but necessary. Now let's take 2 everyday battles most parents know all too well: screen time and bedtime. For screen time boundaries, say you want your child to be done with screen time and they don't. An authoritarian parent would say, turn off that screen because I said so. A permissive parent says, fine, just take the iPad so I can finish my work. An authoritative parent says, you can watch for 30 minutes, then we're going to take a break. If you turn it off when I ask, you can maybe have more time later. It's structure with flexibility. The boundary isn't about control, it's about helping the child learn balance. For bedtime, an authoritarian parent says, go to bed, no questions. A permissive parent says, okay, one more show and another and another. An authoritative parent says, it's bedtime now. You can pick one book tonight and then it's time to rest. That gives structure but still offers choice. And if bedtime slips on a special night, they adjust without losing the routine completely. Let's add 2 more common situations where parents often struggle with limits. Leaving the playground. An authoritarian parent says, we're leaving now. I said get in the car. A permissive parent says, okay, 5 more minutes, over and over again. An authoritative parent gives a clear cue. We're leaving in 5 minutes. Do you want one more slide or one more swing? Then when time's up, they follow through. The child still may protest, but they learn that limits are steady and predictable. Another example, saying no to a toy and the child is upset. An authoritarian parent says, stop asking, you're not getting anything. A permissive parent says, fine, just take it, just please stop crying. An authoritative parent says, I know you really want that toy, but we're not buying one today. You can put it on your birthday list if you'd like. It acknowledges the feeling while keeping a boundary. The theme is the same, clear structure, wrapped in warmth and flexibility. I like to think of it like bowling with bumpers. Kids get to roll their ball, they get to practice, they get to miss, but you're there to make sure it doesn't go straight into the gutter. You're not rolling the ball for them, and you're not letting them roll into chaos. You're guiding. And this isn't just my opinion, it's backed by decades of research. Children raised with authoritative parenting tend to do better in school, have higher self-esteem, show stronger social skills, and regulate their emotions more effectively. They also have fewer behavioral problems overall. Brain science helps explain why. The combination of warmth and structure wires the brain for resilience. Kids develop emotional regulation in their prefrontal cortex, and secure attachment buffers stress. That's why this parenting style doesn't just feel good. It changes the way the brain develops for the better. It's also important to note that authoritative parenting doesn't look identical in every culture. How warmth and expectations show up can vary. For example, in some households, warmth may look like extra physical affection, while in others it may be expressed through providing meals or support with schoolwork. The details change, but the principle stays the same. Kids thrive when they both feel loved and guided with healthy boundaries. If you're nodding along and thinking, yes, I want more of this kind of energy, subscribing will make sure you do not miss any upcoming videos on related topics like discipline strategies, tantrums, and sleep. Here's the key. You don't have to pledge allegiance to any label. You can use tools from gentle parenting, from conscious parenting, from any style, as long as you are holding on to warmth and expectations and you're not slipping into permissive territory or authoritarian territory. The labels are secondary. What matters is that your child feels both supported and guided. Warmth and connection is how your child knows that they're safe and loved, especially when things aren't going perfectly. In eye contact, a calm voice, a hug after a hard moment, listening before reacting. It's saying, I see you, even when you don't agree with what they did. Warmth isn't the same as being soft or giving in. It's empathy that coexists with structure. Boundaries are what give kids predictability. They're the invisible guardrails that say this is how we treat each other, this is how we stay safe, and this is what's expected of you. Being consistent means your child can trust that your word means something. It doesn't mean you never bend. Flexibility is part of real life, like maybe letting bedtime stretch when grandma's in town or allowing extra screen time on a long flight. The key is that you decide when flexibility makes sense, not your child's protest or your guilt. A helpful self-check to know if you are doing authoritative parenting is to ask yourself 3 questions. Did I show warmth and connection today, even when correcting? Did I set clear and consistent boundaries for my child? Did I avoid the extremes of being all in control or all freedom? If the answers are yes, then you're practicing the style of parenting, no matter what label someone online is using. Parenting isn't about getting it right all the time. You'll have nights where you give in after a long day. You're going to have moments where you sound more authoritarian than you want it to be. That's human. What matters most is the overall pattern of warmth plus boundaries, not perfection in every moment. Think of it like eating. One night of pizza doesn't undo a week of other balanced meals. Same with parenting. You're looking at the long game. Personally, I align myself with authoritative parenting, but the term that most closely reflects my philosophy is lighthouse parenting if we're going to need to put a label on it. I love the image of a lighthouse on the shore, steady, reliable, and guiding. The lighthouse doesn't sail the boat for the child, and it doesn't leave them drifting in the dark either. It provides a consistent safe point of guidance while the child learns to navigate their own waters. A lot of parents hear authoritative and think it means flawless consistency, but that's impossible. You're going to have reactive moments, you're going to bend sometimes, and that's okay. Being authoritative isn't about being perfect, it's about being present enough to notice when you weren't. It's about having the warmth and humility to say, hey, I got too upset earlier, or I didn't handle that the way I wanted to. That's modeling repair, and that's powerful. Because when kids see you take accountability, they learn how to take accountability too. That's the difference between control and connection. Control says I can't mess up. Connection says when I do, I can make it right. Parenting styles aren't fixed. Many of us default to how we were raised until we have new tools. If you grew up in an authoritarian or very strict my way or the highway household, which is what I grew up in, you may find yourself snapping or needing control. If you grew up in a permissive one, you may struggle to say no or hold limits. But moving towards authoritative parenting, even imperfectly, makes a real difference for your child's long-term well-being. In authoritarian homes, mistakes are met with punishment. Parents might not apologize because they see them as weakness. Kids learn to fear authority or hide mistakes. In permissive homes, mistakes are brushed off. There's comfort but not enough structure. Kids may struggle with boundaries because they weren't modeled or reinforced. In an authoritative home, mistakes are acknowledged and repaired. Limits stay intact, but love isn't withdrawn. The message isn't you messed up so you're bad. It's you messed up and you're going to try again. That's what teaches emotional safety and responsibility together. So the next time you hear the latest trendy parenting style making the rounds, don't stress. If you're combining warmth with boundaries, you're already in the sweet spot. Parenting should not be about labels. It's about raising kids who feel loved, guided, and ready to face the world. That's why I practice authoritative parenting, because it's about being steady and guiding without controlling. Think of authoritative parenting as holding both the hug and the rulebook. Kids need both to grow. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more evidence and experience-based parenting guidance from a mom herself. Share this with a parent friend who's feeling overwhelmed by all the labels out there. And as always, thank you for being here. I love helping you feel more confident and supported on your parenting path. And I'll see you all next time. Stay well.